kind of a little pop up here. Let me get the camera situated. There we go. All right. Just got home uh, from a weekend out in LA. Actually, it was pretty nice weekend. Went out there to went out there for a family event, and in the process, I got to do a tour of a fish store that I've been wanting to check out. I did a live from there, which is CK Fish World up in West Covina, and I also got to attend. Hey, Phantom, how you doing? I got to attend a club meeting down there for Coast, uh, and that was pretty fun too. Actually, came back with some goodies from there. A couple that I can show you, and one that I'm not sure I can post. Uh, don't want the Department of Agriculture finding out what it is that I got. That was really cool. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys liked it. Hey, Debs, how you doing? Uh, so I just literally got home right now. I'm sitting here in the fish room, and kind of did a quick survey, looked around, and I got to do some water changes. Probably going to still be up for the next couple of hours trying to get all that stuff ready. But I just kind of wanted to do a little live real quick to kind of show you some of the stuff that I was able to get at the Coast Club meeting. It was actually very fun. One of the really nice things is that I was able to hold on. Let me get this light. Ooh, ooh, there we go. One of the things that was kind of neat was I got to meet Dr. Anthony. I know we've spoken before. He's been a guest on one of my live streams with Fish Plants y Mas, but it was really nice to finally spend some time and uh, be able to have a really nice conversation with him. I got to see his fish room, which was really neat. But I didn't film anything from there because he's been away for a while and he didn't feel comfortable with the status of his tanks because they had a little bit of diatom algae and stuff like that, and he hadn't gotten around to clean it up. So he kind of wasn't real comfortable with me filming a lot of this stuff, which I understand. I was already intruding as it was, spending some time with him at his house. But he's got some really neat stuff. He's got a lot more stuff that is leading on. Um, Matter of fact, I even told him that I'd be more than happy to make the drive down there to give him a hand with this fish room because he's got so much neat stuff down there. As a matter of fact, he even gifted me some fish, which is what I wanted to do right now. Is I was going to kind of do an unboxing. Hopefully, they've made it here fine. They've been in the bag, so we'll see what happens. This is really going to be a live unboxing, and we'll see what happens with what we got. Um, but that's what it was. I was hoping to meet some of the other local people that from that fish club, like Stephanie and John from Surf City, and George from Aqua Balls. But I guess being Labor Day weekend, most people have plans and they're out and about doing some other things. So I didn't have any luck as far as that. But at least I got to meet Dr. Anthony. It was also exciting to meet Enrique. Enrique, I guess, has been following me for a little while, and so it was really neat. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? It was really neat to it's kind of weird when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I know who you are," and it's like, okay. So that was kind of cool. We had a really good conversation too. Um, he's breeding some stuff. As a matter of fact, I even told him that if he had any interest in posting some of the content that he has, because he's bringing me some angels that are really neat. And, I told him I'd give him a hand with that. So hopefully he takes me up on it. And pretty soon we'll have another member in the community that'll be posting content. His name's Enrique. I don't know if he's got a channel name or not, but hopefully pretty soon he'll be joining us. And because he's got a lot of neat stuff. He brought some really nice looking black rams to the auction. He brought some awesome looking angels. I didn't buy any of that stuff because I'm not set up to have any of those fish. As a matter of fact, the fish that hey Coral, how you doing? The fish that I was gifted from Dr. Anthony, I'm going to do a little bit of moving around, and they're going to be my centerpiece fish in my 150. So, I'm going to put those in there. I'm going to drop the bags in there. Hey, David, ¿cómo estamos? Gracias por estar aquí desde México. And so I'm going to go ahead and hopefully everything's is still alive. And we'll see what happens. One of the things that was kind of neat, unbeknownst to me, I guess my wife was with me at the event, and I got up to go do something around there. And when I came back, she had bid on some hot toast for me. So I got some plants out of this. One of the things that I do have to say, if you're in the LA area and you're not as attending these meetings, you're really missing out. And the reason I say that is because the prices on the stuff that was being auctioned, oh my God, they were giving stuff away. I mean, it was so cheap that I couldn't believe it. The only reason I didn't buy any fish is because I'm full. I don't have anywhere to put any of the new species, and it would have been just an impulsive buy. We always talk about not buying impulsively, and I had to bite my tongue not to buy any of this stuff. But they have some awesome fish. Stuff was going for like $5. Nobody was bidding on it. The most expensive thing that I remember that anybody got into a bidding war was some Julia Chromises that I wanted, and they went for like $18. And I was into about 16. There was like 3. I think it was a trio. And the only reason I didn't do it is because I knew I was going to have to travel up here, and I would. And the other thing, I was going to have to do some shuffling around of some fish, and actually set up an aquarium. What was going to happen is, for my Neolaperlogas, I was going to have to move them out of the 29 gallon that they were at, throw them in the 50-gallon low boy that I have, and but I haven't set it up because I haven't built a rack for it. It's sitting on my workbench. So I bought the Julia Chromises. That's what was going to happen. So and the process of bidding for them, I kind of stopped and said, what am I doing? I'm buying fish that I'm not set up to be able to keep at this moment. I will eventually when I do some of the moving around, but at the moment, that would not have been a good idea, so I kind of stopped. But Dr. Anthony, once he saw that kind of fell through, he was giving me a little bit of a hard time. But he gave me some discus. Oh, my lights are going on. Hold on. Turn these on. The timer on the lights went off. So he ended up gifting me some discus. They're in this little bag right here. I'm going to go ahead and open them up and see how they're doing. Hopefully everything's still okay. It was like a 4-hour drive from LA to my house. So, like anytime when you travel, there's always that risk. But I'm confident fish ship, from overseas, and they can be in bags for quite a bit. So hopefully everything is fine. Oh, yes. Everything's looking pretty good. So here we go. All these guys are in there. I know you're not going to be able to appreciate them very much in here. I think there's 8 of them. 6 of these discus in there, the blue diamonds. These are tank bred by Dr. Anthony. And so, yeah, everything seems to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and put so those guys are in the water now. Give them about 15, 20 minutes. I know my temperature in here is a lot warmer than what they were in the bag. And the bag are about 78. Aquarium, I'll tell you quick. Yeah, them discus are going to like it. It's 86. Those are going to be doing just get warmer. I don't think I'm going to have an issue with them. And the heater in there to make sure that the temperature doesn't dip below 80, which is same time because it's a big volume of water that kind of acts. So it'll help keep the temperatures in the fish room a little bit warm. Plus, I do run a floor heater in here, which helps keep the temperatures, high 70s. So that should be. If you haven't seen the video really doesn't do it any justice. Especially because at the end, I was already in like an hour, almost 2 hours in there, and I hadn't really finished the entire story. Excuse me. And at the end, I just kind of rushed through it a little bit because I had to go. But if you happen to find yourself in the West Covina area, highly, highly recommend it. I know several about it. They're always going there. As a matter of fact, King of DIY, Joey Mullen, is going to be there in October. He's coming down for an aquascape challenge with another content creator, which I call this, I believe it's TMK. He's pretty big on Instagram, and they're doing a scape off, and they're, it's like a fundraiser and all that. It's a good experience. But from talking to Peter, the owner of the fish store, they put on events like that on a regular basis. But when you have, somebody that has the name recognition like Joey does, well, that's obviously going to draw a bigger crowd. So he was telling me they might close down part of the parking lot because they're expecting that many people to come in. On a typical event that they do, they'll get about 200 people coming through the store at one time. With this event going on, they're expecting a higher volume of people, maybe twice as much as that at a time. So that's pretty neat. That store is really set up if you like doing aquascaping. I don't think there's anything that you can't find there. From the video you got to see, they got everything from regular stones and rocks and stuff like that to some really big boulders that would go like in some of those giant aquariums, your 200, 300 gallon type aquariums. I mean, I don't know if I can lift those rocks. That's how big they were. And, but you can find anything that you're looking for. That store carries. I think it's like 1,500 square feet. And I think it's packed to the brim. I mean, there's not a whole lot of room in there. And, the staff is excellent. They're very knowledgeable. Hey, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Linda, for being here. I know this is a real late on a Sunday night, but like I said, I just got home. I wanted to make sure I got those discus in the water. And I'm thinking I'm going to put this pothos also in that aquarium to help me, with dealing with nitrates. And it's a big plant. You can tell somebody had been growing this for quite some time. So that'll be kind of neat. I have some that from a trimming pretty much similar to this. Started out with a little piece like this, and I've got it grew probably to about a 6-foot section that I've been able to chop up into different sections. And I've got it now in several of these 10-gallon tanks up here. I've got that pothos in there. So that one is going to go in that big aquarium right behind me down there. That one back in there. And so I'm going to put it at the top, and we'll see what happens from there. You can see the discus are in that little bag in there. I'm waiting for them to kind of get, acclimatized to the temperature because it is quite a difference. The bag was about 78, and in there it's at 86. So it's probably going to take it a half hour. I'll check it before I, put them in there. I'd ask Dr. Anthony if he drips acclimates. He says just plop and drop. Typically, that's what I do anyway. So, that's what I'm going to do now. Once I get them up to temperature, drain out the water that's in there and just, put them in that aquarium. Coming in here, I noticed that I got a couple of aquariums that are Um, I might need to do a couple of water changes because I have almost 4 days because we left on Thursday morning, and it's Sunday evening now. So I'm gonna do a couple of quick water changes. Nothing seems to have. I don't think I have any losses in here from what I can tell right away. And so, I just need to do a little bit of maintenance, some, partial water changes, and call it good. Um, so I don't know, but maybe I'll give it another few minutes before I check on that bag, make sure that the temperature is correct. If you guys remember that tank back there used to be full of angelfish, but the only pair that's in there turned out to be a breeding pair. And but this summer, my temperatures, I kept posting stuff about how high they were doing, and some of the old angelfish that I had didn't make it. They ended up passing away. They didn't all pass away at once. It's just kind of gradually, uh, you know, passed one by one to the point where I was only left with three. That breeding pair that's in there, and another one that I moved because these two up here were harassing them. So I don't know if it was a combination of the high temperatures and the fact that these guys were going to start laying eggs, that they started running around stressing the other fish out, and I think they started killing them off because none of the other fish are showing any signs and symptoms of high nitrates or ammonia. Um, and some of those other ones were some of my older angelfish that I had. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a combination of stress and just high temperatures that when you run them hot, you do accelerate their metabolism. So it could have been a combination of everything, and cause them to pass. But I was not expecting to replace them. I was hoping that breeding pair would eventually uh, give me a clutch of fry, and that way I was gonna raise them and reestablish that aquarium. But now that I've got the discus, I just pull that pair out of there, set them up and probably in the 29. Well, you know what? I'll probably go buy a 20-gallon and try to see if I can get them a breeding net since I know they're an actual pair. Um, I'm still kind of in between whether I really want to breed them or not because the problem is if you get the hatch to fry, then you're stuck with 50, 80 fry that you got to grow out. I do have a couple of totes, 40-gallon totes. I guess I could raise them there, but then what do you do with all the excess angelfish? That's the other problem. Why I wasn't too excited about having them breed. Now I was kind of wanting to breed them just because it would replenish the fish that I lost. But what do you do with so many fry? That's the problem. I don't have an LFS here locally where I can go and turn in a big a number of these fish and have them for sale. And trying to sell fish here online, there's not a big demand for them. The other thing would probably be if I go to one of the club meetings, but like up in LA, the market was saturated with angelfish. If there was at least 20 bags from different breeders with multiple angelfish in there, for everywhere from dime size to quarter size angelfish, and they weren't really selling. I mean, they were going for like $5 for a whole bag. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you're right there, Ken. It can be problematic. That's why I was kind of torn. I was hoping that they bred, gonna leave them in the aquarium and whatever made it would have been okay. But now that I got the discus, I'm not so sure if I really want them to breed. Maybe I can take them to a fish club and sell them. Oh, you would love some, June? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go and buy a 20-gallon tank, set it up for angelfish breeding. If I get a clutch of fry and stuff like that, I could always ship them. Not that I want to continue to do that, but for anybody that would be interested in them, I'd be more than happy to let you have some. Um, Worst case scenario, it just costs you shipping. I don't care to make money on any of those fish. It's just if people really want them, then I'll let them have them just for the shipping cost. And that's it. I don't like I said. The only reason I was trying, hoping that they would have bred, was because it would have replenished that clutch that I had in there. But now that I've got the discus, I think I'm just going to make it a discus tank and have the bitter fish that are in there, which are the mollies. I can afford shipping. Or if you want the breeding pair, June, I'll just send you the breeding pair if you want them. Because I'm not looking to breed them. I know they're my wife's favorite fish, but once she saw the discus, she quickly found an appreciation for the discus. So, but we'll see. We can talk after that if you're interested in them, June, and I'll be more than happy to ship them to you. If that's really what you wanted, or if you want to just raise fry, then I can try to breed them. And if I get fried, I'll send you as many as you want, or all of them if you want them. And the same goes for anybody that's watching that would want some. You know, I don't care how many you want. I'll send them if I get them to breed. Rear the fry to where they get to a shippable size. My understanding, dime size is probably the preferred size to send angelfish. They tend to ship better at that size, so that could be something that could be done. Hey, Melvin, thanks for dropping in. I know this is kind of late, especially for those of you that are in the East Coast. I appreciate you guys coming in, especially on a Sunday. Not everybody gets Labor Day off. I know that for a fact. So I do appreciate you guys hanging out in here. So like I said, that store, it's got that event coming up. Wonderful store. I wish I could have gone to a couple of more, but I did go up there for my last batch was raised by their parents. That was a real cool experience, and the young are still, yeah, and I've seen your aquarium. You got them full of angelfish. The only problem is, I would quickly run out of space in here. And the problem is with angelfish, once they start breeding, and especially if they can get them to hatch those fry, then they'll start dropping eggs again real quick. So I don't want to. I kind of don't want to put myself in a situation where I get overrun by angelfish. I had left them in there. This is the second time they put a clutch of eggs, but they've eaten them. The first time I wasn't leaving the lights on. I was letting them go with the timer, where they would automatically come on. And somebody told me that every time the lights would come on, they would start. So the second time around, I left the lights on 24/7. But I guess it's because I do have some mollies in there. I don't know if that stressed them out and they caused them to eat the fish. This pair hasn't kept eggs. Yeah. So, I wasn't, hey, Opposite Garden, thanks for being here. Wasn't, if they bred, it was one of those, can't even speak. It was one of those situations where if they bred, and they had the clutch, so be it. But if they didn't, yeah, I know I might do that, June. I might just pull them, set them up in a breeding situation. Once they lay the eggs, I might just pull the parents out and let it be hey, Rocker, buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? Aquí platicándoles un poquito de mi viaje a Los Ángeles y voy regresando ahorita con peces y plantas. Y les estaba comentando lo que había visto y lo que conseguí. So yeah, I might do that. And I haven't bred angelfish. I know they're not that hard. But again, every single time I've left them with the parents. If they made it, they made it. If they don't, they don't. Like I said, that's the second time that these guys have laid eggs. This time I left the lights on. They still ate the eggs. So maybe this next time, especially, I might, before I put those biscuits in there, I might pull them out, set them up in their own aquarium, put a piece of slate or a flat rock or something in there where they'll lay the eggs. And if they lay them and they don't start fungusing up, I do have some methylene blue that I'll probably put a couple of drops in there. I can pull the parents back out, put them in that aquarium there, and as long as they're not laying eggs, especially with those not the angelfish, but the discus in there, I don't think they will again. just because there's going to be too many fish in there. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll give it a try. Um, Worst case scenario, whatever I get left over with, I can always take them to an auction and just donate them. Um, Problem is that even when you put them up for bid, they're not really buying them. They'll buy the first couple of bags. I know in Phoenix they tend to do a little bit better, but they want more of the koi's or the blacks. These are the male is a marbled and the female I believe is a golden. So it's like a so I don't know what they're going to look like when they do have price, but I could always give it a try. Let me. I've been ranting now for about 25 minutes. I got to give it a little bit more time because the temperature differential between the bag and the aquarium was pretty high. So maybe another 10 minutes if possible. Let them go there. So I got to go to the store today. On our way home, we decided to stop by Coast out there in Fountain Valley for their club meeting. They had a guest speaker. Gentleman is a renowned pleco breeder from Germany, of all places. Okay. Really cool and really interesting talk on South American plecos. As a matter of fact, he's got a species that is named after him. It's a Pancistris. What is it? It's a Pancistris or something like that. I don't know. I'm not too savvy on the plecos, but they kind of look. They kind of the tiger plecos. They're kind of like off white, but they're named after him, which is kind of cool. He goes down there quite a bit, and he was telling us about that and the whole experience of going out there and collecting in the wild. To try to breed some of these fish, but I guess in Germany, their plecos are a big thing. They're really remember his name? Yeah, it's Andrea Tanke. It's named it's like Tank Ke, and it's Andreas. So I know he's done. He's been a guest speaker out in Sacramento. That I was able to find on YouTube a video of his talk, and I want to say he's been in Canada because I know Biggs had some videos from him. I don't know if I think it was an interview. So there's a couple of videos of him floating around. I didn't record any of that stuff because one, it's not my club. Two, I was there as a guest. And three, a lot of the guest speakers don't really like having their speeches recorded. So again, I was not a member of the club, so that would just kind of be, in my view, kind of intruding on my guest there, and then still trying to capture footage for that. I did take a couple of pictures of the event, and I posted them on my Instagram account. And you can see they had a ton of plants, and they had a bunch of fish. I mean, they had so many different types of species. They had rainbow fish. They had swordtail, live bear swordtails. They had guppies, pseudomagills. They had a lot of them were going up for sale for that. They had some black German rams, a lot of ancestral plecos, super reds, short fin, long fin, you name it. They even had some new species of rainbow fish that are from Gary Lang, and I don't think anybody bid on them. I think there were eggs that were in a container. I think they eggs in there, and they were asking like $20. I didn't bid on any of that stuff because I don't deal with a whole lot of rainbows and stuff like that. One thing I don't really like the body style on them. They're not really my type of fish. Again, it's just limited space in my aquariums. I would have to do a lot of shuffling around to make room for them. And I really wasn't trying to do that because I knew I was going to get here late. I didn't want to leave anything that I got in a bag for too long. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So That's what I have going on in there. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes that those guys have been in there. Let me give them a quick temperature check, and we'll see if they're ready to be plopped and dropped in there. And once I put them in there, I guess we'll just call it night because I know it's kind of late. But I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of what I got from the trip down there. Oh, they're talking about trying to organize a bigger event down there, kind of like what FinDig did up in Sacramento. Several of the members of that club and from the San Diego area went up to FinDig, and they were pretty impressed with the event. So it would be like a Fishtoberfest, not quite as big as the Clash because the Clash has got a couple of years on all of these local clubs putting events. But the idea is to try to do something similar in Southern California, especially because they know that they're not going to get an Aquashella to come to the LA area because it's so expensive. Plus, for some reason, it seems like the hobbyists are more geared to going to more of the local events like the Clash, like Fishtoberfest, like Findig. So they're working on trying to see if they can bring together an event. They've already got the San Diego Fish Club committed to helping them out and coming down, supporting them. Um, I know a couple of the people, myself included, from the Phoenix area would be more than happy to go down there and help them out with the event. So I'm talking to Dr. Anthony. They're really trying to do trying to do something, um, but it takes a lot of coordination, a lot of effort, and the logistics to try to find the event and get some sponsors. I guess sponsors is not that big of a deal because they can get some sponsors for the event. It's just one, finding the personnel that's willing to donate the time, and two, finding the venue. Even though the place where they were holding the event today is pretty big, but if you try to do an event like that, you're going to definitely need a bigger venue. Or maybe if it's the first year, they can probably pull it off there, but um, they're they're thinking they're going to have quite a bit of draw, especially in the LA area. You got so many hobbyists down there. I've told them that I'd help with as much as I can in trying to create publicity for it on social media. Uh, to drive a lot of people towards these events, and I know Dr. Anthony was he'll do his thing too, and I know as soon as Stephanie and John from Surf City find out, they'll be doing stuff. George from Aqua Balls, that is their club down there. And I don't know who else that part of this community that belongs to that club, but I'm sure we would all pitch in to try to promote the event and make it a successful event. For me, it's just a 4-hour drive to get down there versus me having to drive 18 hours to go out to Dallas and attend the Aquashella. It's another 14 hours if I try to go to Sacramento, which I'm willing to do. I don't care. I don't have fun. You stop a lot of places that could be pretty interesting, and do that. Uh, and and the upside of all this is I got to go to Dr. Anthony's house and check out his fish room. He's got a little small room, probably in the garage. He kind of made an enclosure, probably like 10 foot by 12 foot, somewhere in those dimensions, kind of like the size of a small bedroom. And God, he's got a ton of tanks in there, and he's got everything from shrimp. He's got some really neat pencil fish that he just recently discovered down there in Peru. He's trying to breed those. He's got some epistogrammas down there that have not been named yet. So I was telling him, so is this the epistogramma that's going to be named after him? Hopefully he does get that fish named after him. He's got like 4 different species that he's been able to collect that are totally new to the hobby. Nobody has identified yet. So hopefully out of those 4, he's able to get at least one of them that have that Maserati eye at the, and the Meseroli, that's what it would probably be called, which would be kind of neat, especially because it's somebody within the community that most of us have had an opportunity to meet one way or another. So let's hope something like that happens. Hey, Stephen P., thanks for being here, man. Craig, thanks for dropping in. So let me go up there and check on these discus to see what the water temperature is like, and then we'll probably be doing the pop and drop, and probably call it a night after that, and maybe do a follow-up video later on to see how they're doing. Hey, Nene, Bolsa, ¿cómo estás, amigo? So, let's see. All right. We're bet on this. There we go. Get a quick temperature reading on the interior of the bag. This thing is double bag. He's got some really nice bags for these guys. So these are the guys that are in here. There's some Blue Diamond biscuits in here. Let's see what the temperature is like. Ah, there we go. All right, but 83.6, so that's pretty close. Let me get this out of here. That water does smell, so I know it's got ammonia in there. Put them in here. Nothing in the bag. All right, here, I'll give you guys a close-up. They seem to be doing okay. Let's see if I can turn the camera around. I want to see my ugly mug. There we go. So they're down in here now. They'll probably huddle up for the minute, until they get comfortable in there. Let me make sure these guys didn't lay any eggs in here so they don't start beating up on them. No, they're okay. So these are the guys in here. They're probably about the size. They vary from about a 50-cent coin to about 2 or. It's going to take them a while to color up, but we'll see how they do. So this is the breeding couple that I said I had. Of these guys will probably end up pulling out of here and put them in their own 20-gallon tank. And let's see if I can get some fry out of these guys. But those are it for right now. I want to thank you guys for hanging out for a little bit. I guess we'll call it a night for tonight. And we'll see how it goes. I'll probably do a quick short in the morning just to kind of see how they made it over the night. And we'll just keep updating to see how they progress. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Like I said, I just got home and I wanted to make sure I got these guys in an aquarium and got them where they needed to be. I'm kind of glad I did because that water was pretty rank. So I'm glad that they're out of there. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, and we'll see how it went. So thank you guys.